Other things, body care products need to be organic. There's so many phytates and all these other things that are like estrogen dominant. It just destroys your testosterone. Water. Go ahead, man.
One second. Wait. Before you get that, because like, bro, like you just hit something. The body stuff that we put on, bro.
100%.
Body stuff that we put on.
Skin is the biggest detoxification organ in the body. Your skin is the biggest organ in the body. 60% of whatever you put on your skin gets absorbed in there. So when you're putting sunscreens on, I'm not saying don't wear sunscreens, but a lot of the sunscreens they're highly estrogenic. Well, look on the bottle, look on the back. Like I tell people, we talked about this in our last episode. I think one of the episodes we did with cereals. And what I said, babe,
FDA, yeah.
Do the same thing with your body wash, your shampoos, right, your soap, your makeup. Just go on the first 5 chemicals on there. Do research and figure out the side effects for each one. And if you still want to keep putting that stuff on your body, I doubt you will, but at least you become more educated and you're not like, oh, I wonder what's happening to me, you know?
The J, the I, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M is Jimmy. Jimmy. The J, the I, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M is Jimmy. Bless up to Boogie Down Productions.
Man, that was a great intro. No.
Brother, so... Dude, I'm sending you this video. So there's the group Boogie Down Productions, right? KRS-One had this song called Jimmy, and it was about men's sexual health, man, talking about the Jimmies, man. So run out and get your Jimmy hats. Good for a present, great for lovers. Demonstrated by the Jungle Brothers. Yo, because they had, the Jungle Brothers also had Jim Brown Ski, which was a reference to the dick too. So, bruh.
I like KRS-One. The Sound of the Police. They had some good songs back in the day. Yeah. Who's the main? Who's the main guy? The character?
KRS-One. KRS-One.
Okay, I forgot his real name. He's very
Kenny Parker.
Very philosophical. Very like deep. I heard him. Yes. I heard him talk a couple times in interviews. Like, man, this guy, he's deep. That's why he's one of the best. You know.
One of the best, man. Listen, so what was interesting was around that time, like the conscious rap was like the Public Enemy, Jungle Brothers, Boogie Down Productions, so which was KRS-One, Miss Melody, and D Nice. So D Nice was the DJ. He did the TR-808. So they had that group. And KRS-One, actually, I'm going to forward you this song. He has this song called My Philosophy, bro, with Boogie Down Productions. Bro, you're going to love it, bro, because he would drop science, bro. He would drop science. And you're a researcher too. So I think, bro, hold on. I'm writing a note on that, man. Please, please. And bless up, everybody. Welcome to It's More Than Black or White Health Podcast. Yo, we're your boys. We're your boys, man. What's up? How you doing, Paul, Brian? We're here to share knowledge, wisdom, things, tips, tactics, strategies that you can use to take care of your own health, whether it be physical, mental, emotional. Check the catalog. We got every damn thing that you could look for, that you could need. So here today, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. We're going to be talking about a body part today on men. It may get vulgar or crass, and please know that this is an informational type of workshop here to support men with a problem that is being reported, but free of being reported authentically. So Brian and I are here today. We're going to talk about erectile dysfunction. Like, share, subscribe. If you know someone that's maybe suffering from this, pause the video, click the share, and send it to them. So now that that's done, B, how you doing, bro? How you living?
Feeling good, man. Got a lot of energy tonight. A lot of energy. Good workout before. I got my meditation in before. Had a good meal. Feeling good. Did a lot of research before. So I'm feeling. I'm vibing high tonight. Feeling good.
My God.
I'm ready to share what I know, and hopefully a few people out there will benefit from it and change their life in a positive way. So I'm ready.
Ooh, child. That vibe was like bip, 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 bip. And for those that have yet to know, if you're new to this episode, I'm gonna tell you right now, when Brian says he's been doing some research, best believe, yo, you about to get some gems up in this piece. Listen, especially the fellas, grab a notepad and a pen. I have a high feeling that and sense that we're about to drop some gems that are going to support you if you are experiencing erectile dysfunction. Mm-hmm. So first of all, before we even get into this, okay, because Brian, this is another one of those topics that you and I just kind of like, yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So free of like, for confidentiality purposes, what was it that prompted you to bring this up as a topic? Are you open to sharing that?
Yeah, I mean, like I just see it a lot, like I mean, like I've been a trainer for going on 26 years. So like people tell me stuff all the time. I don't know. I had this like demeanor or this energy where people just like open up to me. Maybe because I always wear my emotion on my sleeve, always say it how it is. And I'm very open to what is going on. So when I become vulnerable, people become vulnerable back and they open up to me. And I just study a lot of I studied a lot of, a lot of courses on holistic lifestyle coaching and a lot of people, they have this issue. Like we'll get into some statistics, but I remember being like, for example, like in my early 20s, and my boys would be going out like with their girl, like, oh, it's gonna be a good night. I'm gonna, pop a Viagra, and we're gonna have me and my girl are gonna have a good time. I'm like, dude, you're 23, man. Like, why are you taking a Viagra? And it's interesting. And obviously, I'm not gonna use names, but it was a kid in my gym. He came back from college, and I've known him since he was like probably 10 or 11. And he came up to me, and he's like, I was like, hey, how's everything going? It's like, oh, me and my girl having problems and everything like that. And long story short, we're just like bullshitting. He's like, hey, what do you do for like, if you have like you have a hard time, keeping it up? I was like, well, I don't have that problem because my lifestyle is like pretty much impeccable. Like I try to eat as clean, I have a good mindset and everything like that, and I practice what I preach. And I'm like, what's going on? It's like, sometimes it just doesn't work. 19 years old. And I was like, really like kind of prompted me to like being like, I'm like, so I go into his diet, I go into his mindset, and we're like, and like, stuff that we're going to be talking about. And I told him to change up a lot of things that he wasn't doing correctly. And, we'll see. I don't know if you're going to come back to me. It's like, again, it's a personal topic or a personal subject, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And like I have a good relationship with a lot of people at the gym, and they open up to me about, their husbands or whatever like that. I mean, and so it's definitely something that is, it's like I was telling you in pregame, it's a epidemic. Like we can get into some statistics, like 30 million men in the US have erectile dysfunction. And to give you an idea, is that there's 120 million men, according to ChatGPT, there's 120 million over the age of 18 in the US. So basically 1/4 of our men over the age of 18 have some kind of erectile dysfunction. There was a Massachusetts male aging study that says 52% of the men over the age of 40 have ED issues. 70% of men over the age of 60 have it. 10% of the men in their 20s have it. I'm like, man, that's not normal. That's not normal. So there's a lot of people out there that I think can benefit from this topic we're going to talk about. And, I'm ready to try to drop some knowledge bombs, and hopefully you guys can take some of this stuff and apply it into your life. And I know you'll feel a big difference. I know you feel a big difference.
Yeah. And men, please, 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 please. Even if you're experiencing this and you're like, I'm not telling anybody, that's cool. And please, 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 even if it's one of these tactics that we're going to go over today, one of these strategies, please implement it. Do something for yourself, and we'll get into this. And Brian, as you're talking about that experience, the two experiences, like when you were younger and people would plot that we used to call it the blue chip. Like cats would joke around, be like, "Yo, man, but you got a blue chip?" I'm like, "A blue chip?" And I remember I heard it first from one of my old managers because he was like, "Yo, man, Paul, man, you know, I had to freaking get the blue chip this weekend." I was like, and I was, bro, at the time I was I was late 20s, and I was like, what's a blue chip? He was like, "Yo, man, sometimes I need help," because he had a heart disease. So a lot of his circulation was jacked up, so he wasn't able to keep it rocks. So he would tell me about it. I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that they had," because like, bro, I was like completely ignorant because bro, in the Jamaican culture, there's always something to help out with the freaking wang and wang, you know. So it's like I never had that problem, bro. I was just always in the blood and culture, man, roots and culture.
Yeah.
But like when he told me this, I was like, "Damn, man!" Like I recognize this, and I was looking at this strictly from the heart disease perspective because I was like, "Damn, man, I wonder if that's gonna happen to me." But then also, I remember like my friends that were younger would talk about the blue chip, like, you know, they're gonna use it as an aid, and I'm like, "Bro, I was always baffled, like, what would have you use that as an aid? Then your body's gonna start relying on that? Like, what's the situation, bro?" And I think it's fascinating because in our culture, especially when we're talking about that young man, 19, a lot of a man's sense of being a man is through sexual conquest. Free of saying it's right or wrong, it's just what it is. It's like, especially at that age range, it's like I can remember I'm a late bloomer, man. So I really, you know, I had more girls as friends in high school and stuff, and like, I mean, I was hooking up, but it wasn't like it was very interesting. Like I never thought I had to use any kind of aid, but at the same time, like if I wasn't getting a lot of women, friends would be like, "Yo, what's up with you, man? Like, what's the scoop, man? You all right?" So I think about, you know, but like, bro, that's what it was. So I think about what's happening with the statistics that you say, and working with men. I know men don't really talk about shit. You know what I mean? They're like, "Yo, man, I'm not telling you.
I'll figure it out myself. I'll figure it out myself."
I figure out myself, bro. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Then they go down that emotional deep rabbit hole, and they're just like, you know, they starts messing with the mentality and the mental emotional part of your body, and just like it's bad. It's not good.
It's bad.
If it's not working, you're. I think most men feel less of a man. It really has to do with your environment. It has to do with your environment, you know, and that can be easily changed, you know. But the problem is you go to a doctor, and what do? They give you, you know, maybe they put you on some testosterone that, you know, we actually had a podcast on it where they don't even know most doctors don't know how to prescribe it correctly or even look for it in blood tests or how to look for it. And even if they do find you're low in testosterone, they don't know how to apply it to you. So that's why I said, I kind of made a joke at the last one. Your levels are low. Don't go to your doctor. Figure it out. Come talk to one of us and we'll send you in the right direction. You know, but a lot of doctors, they'll prescribe Viagra. And a true story, and kind of going into this, like Viagra is very, you know, first of all, if you have an erectile dysfunction, that's a classic first sign of some kind of heart disease going on.
Thank you.
Your body's going to shut down your opportunity to reproduce and save it for the vitality of your organs and everything like that. It's not worried about reproducing and making children. It's worried about your heart, you know? So it's going to decrease blood flow there so the rest of the blood flow can go in other organs. And Viagra, like true story, I met a guy one time and we're doing a consultation and he told me basically he used Viagra, took like 2 pills. All the blood was going and it wasn't circulating and it basically swelled up and they actually had to amputate the penis. He's like, it happens so often, but the pharmaceutical companies, they always pay you extra to kind of hush it.
Okay. So listen, B, I know you mentioned a major reason for erectile dysfunction, but before we get into that, I want to get clear on what erectile dysfunction is. And basically it's the inability to keep or get an erection firm enough for sex, the inability to keep or get an erection for sex. So a lot of times, like if it happens every now and then, listen, guys, it's not that big a deal. Yet if it happens on a regular basis, por favor, please see someone. And listen, the thing is there's not enough blood flow or circulation that goes to your privates. So talk to me about this situation. Like when people are, you were saying like when doctors, you just go to doctors about this, they're gonna give you a pill, but there could be something bigger at play here.
Oh yeah.
What's the scoop, bro?
So actually, I did a consultation with this guy a few years back, and he was like saying that I was like, I've had some medical issues and everything like that, so I want to know all the medical issues before I train you, you know. And he's like, well, I had you know, this and this and this and like one other kind of issue that's a little sensitive. I'm like, well, it's like, listen, if I'm going to go into like working with you like twice a week for, you know, moving forward, like I need to know this stuff so I can hurt you. So he's like, you know, it's like I had to get my my penis removed. I was like, what? I was like, would you have was it like a cancer or something like that? And he's like, no. It's like I had erectile dysfunction when I was in my early 30s, and I went to the doctor and I went on Viagra. And one of the side effects of Viagra, which they don't tell you, is that when you take the Viagra, all the blood goes into that organ, into your penis. And sometimes in rare cases, it gets stuck and the blood doesn't circulate outside of it. So it just stays in it. And I forgot the term he used for it. And basically the only thing they can do is they have to amputate it. So, and he was like, yeah, we went through, I wanted to sue him and everything like that. He did wind up winning a lawsuit and everything. I won a good amount of money in it. But he's like, there's thousands of cases like this out there with Viagra where people actually have to get their penis removed because of these issues with it. So it's not something you should take lightly when you're on it and be like, oh, you know, there's no side effects or whatsoever. There's a lot of issues, and we actually talked about in one of our testosterone episodes that Viagra actually lowers your testosterone, and it puts more blood flow into your penis during that time, but it actually lowers your blood testosterone over a longer period of time. So it's not good, you know. So stay away from that shit if you can.
I'm flabbergasted, bro. I'm flabbergasted because, you know, this is the thing. People don't talk about this. And it's common. I mean, we've talked about this in many different arenas that people will fail to pay attention to the whole scenario. And they're only going to focus on the benefits. But they're like, yo, bro, you never even thought about this is a blood flow issue.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing this haphazard, man, there's a lot of stuff. Like I've heard stories about like dudes that were somewhat similar, but they didn't have to get it removed. This is I looked it up. It's ischemic priapism. Priapism. The result of blood not being able to leave the penis. Blood is trapped in the penis because it cannot flow out of the veins of the penis. God damn, that's gotta be freaking painful. But also, bro, it's like very painful. God, bro. I mean, because dude, I can only imagine. First of all, I've heard situations where guys taking Viagra and then having heart attacks because like it messes with your circulation. And I you know what? Now I'm down. I get to research, and maybe you did, but Viagra was not originally for erectile dysfunction. I don't think people understand that. Viagra was actually a heart medication, if I'm correct. Did you do the research on that?
No, I knew somebody that specifically worked on Viagra when he worked at Pfizer during that time. He was one of the head pharmacists that actually worked on it. But I don't know the origin of it, but it could make sense. I mean,
I'm gonna look up the Viagra origin. And you know what? I meant to look that up before. And Viagra was known as sildenafil citrate, which was originally developed by Pfizer scientists in 1989 to treat cardiovascular disease such as high blood pressure and angina. The drug was designed to dilate blood vessels in the heart by blocking a protein called PDE-5. So, however, in the clinical trials, researchers discovered that this was more effective at causing erections than treating angina.
Yeah, I can see them right now. They're giving these patients, you know, Viagra for heart disease, and they're winding up dying in the hospital. But they're just like, I can picture a blanket over it. It's like, well, everyone needs erections. So let's sell it like that.
And they probably were like, he died happy. No, he didn't, motherfucker, because all that blood flow hurts. Hurts a ding ding, man. Hurts a ding dong. But this is fascinating because, you know, in medications, a lot of these things that come out had an original intent, but especially something like Viagra for erectile dysfunction. I was just reading a little bit further. It was said like they saw it met an unmet need. And anytime there's something related to sex, then guess what? It's damn sure going to sell, especially if it's contribute to guy's ego and being able to keep his wang up, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
there's a lot of stuff like that out there. Like we did a 2-part episode on glyphosate, right? It was mainly used to clean pipes out. Then as the glyphosate got into through the sewers and it went into the ponds, it killed everything in sight. So our intelligent mind was like, oh, let's spray this on crops and it'll kill all the pesticides off crops. We consume all this stuff and we're wondering why cancer rates are through the roof.
Precisely. It baffles the mind, man. What a freaking joke that is, bro. Yeah. It's so amazing, man. But like I wanna get into like some of the physical and psychological causes of this. So if we want, like, let's go back and forth, and then like let's address what guys can really do to support themselves in addressing this, man.
I mean, I think we can go into like, I mean, I think a lot of these people, they just have a poor foundation of food. You know, most of these people are raised on like highly processed foods that are loaded with farming chemicals. So you got like pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides. And that's highly toxic. And plus, we talked about glyphosate, like again, in a 2-part series. If you guys want to check it out, episode 9 and 10. So the foundation of all our nutrients is basically just poisoned. So when you have detoxification of a body when you have so much toxicity in a body, your body's in a survival mode. What people don't understand is your ED issues are caused by an irregularity in your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. So your sympathetic is what causes the ejaculation. The parasympathetic is what maintains the erection. So most of us are so overly stimulated on a sympathetic. We have so much toxicity in our body that the balance is like way off. And that's why we have so many issues going this way. So I think the basic foundation is just with like chemicals in our food. Another thing could be like vaccinations. All vaccinations, they have mercury and aluminum in it. That's highly toxic for the body. We talked about the spike protein with COVID. We talked about nitric oxide, and we did a little while ago too in episode 14. Like if you ever had the spike protein, whether you had COVID or you got the shot, you're going to have a deficiency in nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, what it does is basically expands and dilates and extracts the blood vessels. It pumps blood through the body. Most of us, by the time we reach the age of 50, we have like maybe like 1/10% of nitric oxide left in our body, 10% of nitric oxide left in our body. Again, go to episode 14. It talks all about that too. Nitric oxide it's a key molecule released by endothelial cells, which are the lining of the blood vessels and nerve endings in humans. And when a man becomes sexually aroused, nitric oxide is released in the tissues of it. And so the increased blood flow fills the erectile tissue, and it causes the penis to become erect. But none of us have so low nitric oxide in the body. So that's another thing too. You can go to your doctor and you get tested for nitric oxide. Again, episode 14, we talk about so many different ways how you can supplement nitric oxide and increase nitric oxide levels.
Yeah, dude. That episode we had, on the glyphosate, testosterone, and on the nitric oxide. Those are potent episodes. Listen, guys, if you're experiencing some things, watch those. Because Brian, when I was like everything you're saying, especially when it relates how it all comes down to the food and what we consume in our environment, like physically, a lot of what I was seeing with the physical attributes like multiple sclerosis, heart disease, like some of these are lifestyle issues, bro, where it's like it can contribute by the things that we're eating or consuming. Like even things like alcohol contribute to erectile dysfunction, metabolic syndrome, right? So like high insulin levels, body fat around the waist, and high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity. These are all things that contribute to the foods that we're eating. But the thing is, no one's going to tell you that shit. They're going to tell you like, this keeps coming back to things that we keep telling the peoples is know your shit. Because when you go to the doctor and you're saying like, hey doc, I'm like having problems keeping an erection and it's causing me problems. if the doctor's not asking you like, what's your diet, like have that junk ready so you could tell the dude.
Yeah.
Because or woman, because chances are like they may say like, yo, you gotta switch your diet up and
Yeah.
take this
And
blue pill. But
they don't
you
make
know,
money on that. They don't make money on that. You think any doctor would be like, hey, give me like a 7-day food journal of what you're eating? No. You know, like you said, processed foods, smoking, drinking, environmental toxins like heavy metals, pesticides, residues. So if you have any of these issues, like especially if you have any kind of ED, first place I would go to is a functional medicine practitioner. Do an environmental toxicity panel. And this will let you know right anywhere from like 150 to 200 different kind of elements going on you. So like chemicals, plastics, can liners in the body, and you can start doing like and listen to them. You can do like a detoxification to get all that stuff out. The less toxic your body is, the more vital energy you're going to have. You're going to lower that sympathetic system, and you're going to increase that parasympathetic system. So now you can start maintaining that erection and a bunch of other things too. But other things, body care products need to be organic. There's so many phytates and all these other things that are like estrogen dominant. It just destroys your testosterone. Water. Go ahead, man.
One second. Wait. Before you get that, because like, bro, like you just hit something. The body stuff that we put on, bro.
100%.
Body stuff that we put on.
Skin is the biggest detoxification organ in the body. Your skin is the biggest organ in the body. 60% of whatever you put on your skin gets absorbed in there. So when you're putting sunscreens on, I'm not saying don't wear sunscreens, but a lot of the sunscreens they're highly estrogenic. Well, look on the bottle, look on the back. Like I tell people, we talked about this in our last episode. Where I think one of the episodes we did with cereals, and what I said,
FDA,
do the same thing with your body wash, your shampoos, your soap, your makeup. Just go in the first 5 chemicals on there. Do research and figure out the side effects for each one. And if you still want to keep putting that stuff on your body, I doubt you will, but at least you become more educated and you're not like, oh, I wonder what's happening to me, you know?
Wow.
So do your research. That stuff is so harmful. I think there's a website out there called Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. I think that's what it is. And basically what you do is you can put it in like, for example, like, Colgate, which is like, I think it's like a 7 or 8 on a scale of like 1 to 10 being like carcinogenic because it has like fluoride and all this other crap in there. But it'll tell you, hey, instead of taking Colgate, go to Tom's paste because now it's like a 1 or a 2 or whatever like that. So you can find things that you can substitute out to make your body healthier. And it's cheap. It's free. You just go on there and do it. You might pay a little bit more for the product, but hey, can you put a price on your health? So
no. And dude, listen, this is important, guys. This is important because when you said that, what came to mind is like, I've always been suspect of Axe body sprays.
Oh yeah.
I've just always been so suspect of it. Like you're like, hey, I'm like, I just can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
And here, because my untrusting self, my conspiracy theorist thinking self, I always think of like, well, damn, man, we've had a rise or actually an increase in, or actually a lowering of testosterone and an increase in erectile dysfunction when there's all these things and body sprays. Hey, smell masculine, but like a lot of these things are damaging. You're one of the very symbols of being a man. You being able to keep your wang up and keep your wang up.
I don't put any deodorant on that has aluminum in it. I don't do any toothpaste that has fluoride in it. It's just it's straight trash. You're like, there's nothing good coming out of that.
It's true, bro. It's true. I want to highlight something too that you said, right? Because I think this is being real, being neutral about this, or really just willing and thinking is that doctors. If you go to the doctor about you having erectile dysfunction, they give you they'll make money on it. They're not going to make money on like giving you the stuff that's going to help you that's free. Yet at the same time, the thing is most people are unwilling to put the time in to do the shit that's free. So they'll want that quick piece to be like, well, yo, man, I got a date Saturday night. You mean I got to change my diet? Can I be ready by Saturday?
Yeah.
I got to find thing, bro. I got to find thing coming through. You know what I mean? Like, but that's our mentality, bro, because that's what gets us into the situation in the first place, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at these physical attributes, these physical symptoms, man, tobacco use, like we talked about alcoholism, sleep disorders, prostate cancer, which is another thing, because if you look at like the sex of males, what's effed up is like a lot of males aren't having sex between the ages of like 18 to 30. Like they're really not having sex. So they're not letting any venom out. Prostate's probably all jacked up. If you look at the prostate numbers, those are increasing among men at a younger age, bro.
Yeah.
So this is very scary, man, and very, very scary situation, man. Fearful for men right now. It's crazy. And you know,
you gotta look at humanity, not just men. Humanity, man. Men can't get women pregnant. It's everybody's going down, you know.
Yeah, and dude, let me tell you. I mean, I've always had this thought about like there's some sort of population control agenda out here. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, hey,
I mean, you listen to any Bill Gates interview, his thing's all about population control or presentation. That guy, man, that's another topic. That guy is nothing good about that guy.
Bruh. That's gonna be another episode.
That's another episode.
Yes, and dude, so I wanna we talked some. I mean, any other physical things that you could think of,
like drugs, like water. Water would be big. I would get a filtration system to get as much chlorine and fluoride out of your water. All water has fluoride, chlorine, arsenic, lead. So having a filtration system that's going to be clean water. And we talked about this in our last in a water episode that we did. Like a lot of people, they drink dead water. They drink juvenile water. Juvenile meaning like it's been filtered so many times. So eating clean water, drinking clean water is going to go a long way. Again, don't be fooled. Just because you drink a lot of water is not going to mean you're hydrated. It's not getting into your cells. Like I said before, it's mostly dead. So go to our water episode. I don't want to beat a dead horse, kind of talking about stuff we talked about in the past, but you know, that has a lot of good gems in there to talk about. Yeah,
I'm so proud of us.
Detoxifying the body. So
that's good.
Yes,
man. I'm proud of us, bro, because as you're rattling these things off, I'm like, we did an episode on that.
Yeah.
We did an episode on that too.
Yeah.
And that one.
Yeah. So one more thing with water too, you can buy like pH strips and you can test your water at your house to see if the pH is good. So basically anything below a 7 is very acidic for your water. So you want to kind of be between like a 7 and like an 8.5. That's where you want to kind of be with your acidity as far as your water goes.
Word up, man. Okay. Thanks,
episode
B.
20 is where we talk about water too. Episode 20.
B knows the numbers, man. He knows the catalog. Let's see. I wonder if any of our subscribers know the catalog like how you do. Yeah. Genius, I say.
we only have about 50 out right now. So there's a few of them we say over and over again. But once we get to a couple hundred, I'm gonna be lost.
Listen, man. I'm looking forward to when we get to a couple hundred. I'll be like, that's a great problem to have. Oh, I can see it. I can see it. So B, I want to talk to, because we got to the physical. I want to talk about the psychological impacts of this, because especially like when we're recording this, we're coming out of Mental Health Month. Mm-hmm. And then June, we're going into Men's Mental Health Month, like really one of the 2 months that's celebrated for men's health. And this June, I think is actually, like this June is prostate. I don't know, but like one of them, like this is about men's mental health or men's health. Mm-hmm. So the psychological is wild, because there's more depression. When I looked at the trends, there's a rise in depression among young men, 18 to 30. And then when I look at the erectile dysfunction numbers, that's the highest. Well, you mentioned that the higher demographics are older, yet when I look at the trends over the years, the biggest rise is in that 18 to 30 demographic.
100%. Yeah.
I know like depression is a key piece psychologically, because just chemically, how it can impact, or just like the ways that we think about ourselves, or a way we can be engaged. I'm curious for you, like what are some other, when you were researching, what's a psychological, I guess like cause that really stuck out for you, man?
Well, I think, kind of before I get into that, there was about 10 years ago, there was something that was like, they were showing how Lipitor was the #1 selling drug in the world. So Lipitor was for lowering cholesterol medication. It was a cholesterol lowering medication. And then the second most popular drug in the world that was sold at was Viagra. The third highest was Prozac. So basically, they put you on cholesterol and lower medication, which naturally was going to lower your testosterone, which is going to give you ED eventually if you keep taking it. And then if you get ED, you're eventually going to feel depressed. I feel depressed if my shit didn't work. Like what man wouldn't? What man wouldn't? And I think a lot of men, we have that connection from our head to our other head, that if this one's not working down there, like, what can you possibly give a woman? You know what I mean? You kind of have that mindset. You're like, you're less of a man going in a relationship, and it's very tough to talk about that with somebody, because it's tough. But the good thing is that, like, there's hopefully people listen to this. I mean, when it comes down to it, it comes down to basic biology. I mean, listen, if you're very stressed out, you're always thinking about work. Yeah, last thing you want to do is come home and try to please your significant other. You just got so much on your mind. That's not going. But most people, we live so out of balance. Like, you're parasympathetic, your sympathetic should be even. Most of us are like way up here with your sympathetic.
Way offline, man.
We're running from tigers from 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, and we're not balancing anything. You probably go to sleep late. I mean, your whole sympathetic is parasympathetic is according to the moon and sun cycles, right? So if we go to sleep late, we probably wake up before the cycle. We have all this coffee, which is probably one of those heavily pesticide crops in the world. Most of us are probably not drinking organic. Then we have like some kind of shit breakfast that's processed. We go to work, we drive to work, we hate what we do, and then, people all day, it's all the stress kind of building on. We're having processed food throughout the day. You're coming home and, you want to maybe have a beer, or you want a couple glasses of wine to kind of unwind, and you rinse and repeat, you do it over again. Our bodies are not meant for that. We're not meant for that. We need some downtime. And a lot of people, the problem is, a lot of people, in this day and age, if you're not bragging that you're working hard, it's almost like a badge of honor, like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, some days you got to do it, but that's just, for me, now that I look back at it, I'm getting older. That's just an irresponsibility of your own self, taking care of yourself. You have to have downtime. You have to put time for yourself. Otherwise, the universe or whatever you believe in is going to come back and is going to give you a disease, or is going to give you something, so you do calm down.
Yes, brother. You know what I mean? Yes. Listen, the universe will find a way to smack you and get you to pay attention. It will find a way.
Yeah.
God, Allah, whatever you call it.
With hermeticism, right? The law of paradox, or law of rhythm.
Rhythm and correspondence. It's like cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Brother. You can't run. You can't keep that high speed or that too much sympathetic without crashing. Something's going to crash, and usually your erectile dysfunction is one of the first things that go, because your body doesn't want to reproduce. If a tiger jumps out at you, are you going to be thinking about your sex life? No, you're going to be like, get me the fuck out of here.
And that's the piece. Like, cats fail to recognize, especially like when I talk to men, a lot of their life is stress. A lot of their life is stress because they're dealing with stuff that they don't tell a soul. And just that alone is going to produce more stress in the body, and it activates your fight or flight. Your limbic system is like red alert, red alert, red alert. It's like, come on, man. Like, so your blood flow is going to go to other places to get you ready to tense up or to run. Yeah. It's not going to, like you said, B, it's not getting you ready to get some touches, man. It's not going to happen.
It's going into your muscles. It's going to your muscles.
Right.
It's getting away from the center of your body where all your organs are, and the blood is going to the muscles, because you don't need blood in your liver or your penis when a tiger jumps out at you. You need blood in your legs and your arms to get to run and fight it off. That's man. And the good thing, and the good thing about it, if there is a silver lining on it, is like, I believe in all my research I've done and everything, if you take the time out, you can reverse this. You can change this on your own without taking any kind of medication. And not only will you, get an erection, you can stay longer. It's going to improve your overall life. So you have 110% control of this. Anybody that says you don't doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They don't know shit. They don't know shit, man. Come on, man. Dude,
The trick is training. Go ahead.
Huh? What you say?
The trick is training your mind to give yourself permission to either like don't internalize it, open up, or to just kind of fix yourself,
Dude.
whatever it is, whether
listen,
it's quiet time or going on vacations,
So it's interesting you say that, man, because I think there's a big piece of that for men that they get to do is like that quiet time, the relaxation, and it's also coming to a place of stillness, man, and presence. I think that there's a lot of men that are running, and also they have a lot of expectations as far as what sex is supposed to be like, and I think that in itself will cause stress. Yeah. Like, I think the porn consumption is probably out of control. And like, listen, no judgment on porn. I know I've used porn several, a good amount to rub out some knuckle children. And I also know that porn is entertainment. Yeah. And I think in this case, especially since more men are sexless, there's an increase on things like OnlyFans and like the shadow behavior of sexual expression. So being able to like men looking at porn and thinking like they got to perform like this dude or look like this dude or got to be the size of this dude, like that's creating a stress that's it becomes unmanageable, and it creates a dis-ease, like with the fact that, oh my God, I can't perform, or you're a two-stroke guy. Like, listen, hey, this things happen, but if this is happening on a regular basis, man, there's some things that you get to do. Psychologically, porn can be damaging. I think we actually talked about that in the What's Wrong with Men episode with
I agree.
The ladies. Yeah, so I mean, it's important for men to recognize that you gotta reset your expectations around what sex is and around what your version of a man is. Because listen, one of the things that's important for men to know is that we're going to be free of always having the ability to keep an erection for a long time as we get older. Right? If you have great blood flow and circulation, man, you be rocking. I mean, look at Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. They having children at like 106 years old, bro. I mean,
my goal is for my 100th birthday to have sex.
Yeah, listen, bro, me too. Listen, if I could do that shit, when I do that, oh my God, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I can go after that. I'll be like, I made it.
I'm gonna prove it to the world. I'm gonna be the first 100-year-old ginger on a fans only or only fans, what do you call it? Fans only page? That's gonna be
only fans. Yeah, we're gonna put you on only.
Watching that, but
hey man, listen, times could change in the future. Might be
there's always somebody out there with some kind of weird fetish, right?
Brother, listen. And listen, that's another piece too, bro. There's some like, bro, we may have to do an episode on porn, because I was listening to this thing the other day, and the guy was saying, man, porn has come such a long way, because like, bro, when I was a kid, like Sears magazines and like Caldor inserts with like the brassieres and stuff, that was like exciting. Like, oh my God. Then like getting older, you have the VHS and stuff and the DVDs, and now you got free porn, and you got people like having porn with freaking peace lilies and shit, man. Like it's like, what the fuck? So there's a lot of stuff out there that will jack a psyche up around sexual conquest, around sex, around your body. So these are all impacts and things that will contribute to freaking erectile dysfunction on a psychological level, man. Sure. Shit is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I'm laughing because like my first introduction to like naked women was like, I must have been like 7 or 8. We had TV, but we had basic cable. But at the time, we were too poor to get like any kind of like HBO or anything like that. But at the time, you remember like Cinemax? But you could still click on Cinemax, and at night it'd be like, it'd be like all squiggly lines all over the TV, and you'd be like, I see a nipple.
Dude, I know, bro. Listen, I'm right there with you, bro. It was funny. Like, that was the greatest. So there's a couple like I had a couple intros. The one was Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places, where she was like, where she took in Dan Aykroyd, and then she had a perfect breasts, and I was like, and then there was another one with Sigourney. I think it was Sigourney Weaver and Alien, and like she had like she was in undies and like this tank top, and I was like, Can we rewind that? My brother's like,
Yeah.
no, Paul. I was like,
Yeah.
what? No. But it was like, dude,
Yeah.
there's, I think that's part of what led to this sexual intrigue of an experience, right? Like it wasn't that it was still something to the imagination. There was still a newness to it. Whereas
Yeah.
now it's like porn shows freaking everything.
Yeah.
Everything, man. So there's
you're so desensitized to it, you know?
desensitized. And you know what's interesting, bro? I think there's also a performance anxiety to a lot of this, especially if there's such a high porn consumption, is that people will look at these types of movies and think that, oh my God, this is what it's supposed to be. But like these cats are freaking actors. They've been doing this all day. They do these angles specifically for the camera angle so they can see all up in the nuts and berries and all the JJ and shit. But like, it's not real. Like, so stop trying to think that it's got to be like this and start looking at this experience that you have with the person that you're with. Like, start to really get sensual. And B, let's start to transition into some things that men can do to address erectile dysfunction in a proper way, man. So you know what I'm saying? What do you got?
I mean, basically everything we talked about. Like, I would start off with like try to eat as much organic, clean foods, because you don't want to put those chemicals in your body, man. Those chemicals slow everything down. It's like the more toxic you are, the less chance you're going to have an erection. And if you do right now, if you're eating like shit food and processed food, and drinking bad water and putting non-organic chemicals all over your body, or you're getting to sleep late, it's only a matter of time before your body starts shutting down. Your body's going to start shutting down. So like Paul said in the beginning of the thing, you got to rewind this thing, kind of listen to go over some of the tips again. And there's so much more. I mean, I can give you another 20 things that you can do, but these are like the biggest things. And one of the things I would do right away, if you're having issues, like I said before, go to a functional medicine practitioner, do an environmental toxicity panel. They'll tell you all the stuff that you have that's toxic that are in you, and flush that shit out. I guarantee you right there, just like boom, you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better. Yeah.
Listen, I'm yes, and yes to everything you just said. And me coming from the islands, or like descendants from the islands, I'm a fan of like sea moss, bladder whack. These are all roots and substances you could buy online. These are all natural. Sea moss has got 92 of the 103 or 100 and something nutrients. Bladder whack is another component that can be used with it, bro. It's great for circulation. That's one of the main things, and it keeps you. Like, remember I was talking to thing. My grandma helped me. She was like, "Make your vigorous." It make your vigorous. So, bro, I mean, like, listen, those are the things. But the key thing, and it goes along the lines of what Brian was saying, is how you're eating, what you're consuming physically. Because if your circulation is right, all is right. That means your heart's pumping, you're at a relaxed pace so that your circulation is good. You're free of holding on or tensing up. You got a nice balance, like Brian was talking, between the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. So your body knows how to regulate. And I think the other thing too that I would recommend is if you're having sexual dysfunction, if you're having erectile dysfunction, pause, okay? Take time. If you're with someone, chill for a little bit, like talk about the scenario and start to get into your senses. There's a lot of things out there like breathing exercises, mudras, a lot of these natural things that masters have been doing for thousands of years, free of it being sexual. I mean, like, it's used for that, but they also use it as transmutation, to use that sex energy to create something physical in life aside from a baby. Yeah, man, big stuff. I think we covered a lot in this, man, and this may be I'm very interested in hearing feedback on this from the guys, and not telling me, you don't have to tell us like, hey, you're experiencing this, but I'm curious for the men that are watching this. What are the things you're doing for your circulation? What are the things you're doing for your health, your sexual health, your physical health, even your gut health? Because this is all contributing. And this is why we do this. It's more than black or white, man. It's more than just saying, hey, go take Viagra or stop watching porn. Yes, like, those are tactics, but this is about really looking at what some of the underlying issues that may be causing your disease. So there it is, man. There it is. Take care of your wang, and your wang will take care of you. Famous last words. And in the words of Boogie Down Productions, the J, the I, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M, it's Jimmy. Hold up, it's Jimmy. Come again. Hey. Hey, listen, man.
An outro. I like that.
Yo, bro, that's how we do it. And listen, guys, you're out there having sex. Please, please, please pick up your Jimmy hats. Yo, diseases are running rampant out there, bro. So take care of your Jimmy hat. Wear your raincoats, man. This is Paul and Brian. Like, share, subscribe. B, any last words, man? What's up, bro? Hey.
How do I top that? You're good.
Yo, bro. Yo, that was good. Oh, my God. Yo, people, we love you. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the support, man. We're rocking it, man. We're getting there. We're getting there with the help of you. So bless up to you. Peace, everybody.
Peace. Appreciate you.
I don't know what you've been told. Some may say I've lost control. But truth be told, I'm not the same.